Sandy Steinman here, President of Background Checks Express, your one-stop source for accessible, accurate, and affordable background checking. You know, we've spent the last few weeks looking at an onslaught of new lawsuits against employers who violated the Fair Credit Reporting Act during their background checking. I know when you look at these multi-million-dollar verdicts, it's a temptation to say, why background check? It's just too dangerous. Just take our chances. So I thought we'd review the reasons that employers do background check their applicants, and not just from selfishness. You really need to do that. First, it really does discourage applicants with something to hide. Just having a pre-screening program is likely to discourage an applicant with a criminal background or falsified credentials from ever applying to your company if they know that you're background checking. It helps to eliminate uncertainty in the hiring process. You'll find that a lot of employers have learned the hard way that you can't just rely on gut instinct when making hiring decisions. Concrete information is a major ingredient necessary to making a good hiring decision. Just take a look at my video titled The Story of Milton to find out just how costly what I'm going to call instinct-based hiring can be. Knowledge is always power, and just listen to what background checks reveal that you would never know otherwise. Here's the statistics. Over 40% of employment, education, and reference checks showed a difference between what the applicant provided and what the source reported. There's even websites today that will allow an applicant who's falsified his work history to pay a fee and have one of the website folks give a glowing reference over the phone. You've got to protect yourself. 45% of credit checks reveal a judgment, lien, bankruptcy, or referral to a collection agency. Why don't you hire one of those people to be in your accounting department? 36% of driving records disclose one or more violations and convictions. 9% of background checks reveal a criminal record within the last 7 years, with 24% of those having 2 or more adverse records. This is information you need in making hiring decisions. Third, it absolutely demonstrates due diligence, and due diligence is the one major defense against a negligent hiring lawsuit. Here's the deal. Employers have a reasonable duty of care in the hiring process, and that means you as an employer must take reasonable steps to determine whether an employee is a good fit for the specific job. A perfect example of what happens is the case of a healthcare provider in Massachusetts who hired a home healthcare aide to take care of a 32-year-old cerebral palsy patient and an invalid mother. They made this hire with no background checking, and the applicant was later terminated, and he showed his displeasure by murdering the 2 people he was responsible for. There was a negligent hiring suit which cost the home healthcare company in excess of $30 million and drove them out of business. A reasonable background check, come on, less than $50, would have discovered that this person had recently been released from prison because of violent crimes. And fourth, it encourages honesty in the application and interview process. As an employer, you'll find that just having a background checking program will encourage applicants to be more forthcoming about their history. Think about it. It just makes sense. If an applicant knows there's something in his record that's going to cause you concern and that you're going to find out about it, he or she will want to mitigate the damage by telling you as a prospective employer his or her side of the story first. Is background checking a guarantee that every bad applicant will be found and uncovered? Unfortunately, no. But it certainly shows that you perform due diligence, and it really does give you great comfort in that you've done everything you can to be sure that there's no reason not to hire the individual you've decided to hire. Next week, we'll review the things employers have to do to ensure that they don't become embroiled in these class action lawsuits for Fair Credit Reporting Act violations. If you're an employer, I hope you'll follow this series of videos, because what you learn here could well keep you out of court, and that's our mission. If you have any question about pre-employment background checking or the Fair Credit Reporting Act in general, or want to learn how we can ensure that your background checking is FCRA compliant, or want to learn how you can avoid those negligent hiring lawsuits, that employers lose 79% of the time at an average cost of over $1 million. Just email me at sandy@backgroundchecksexpress.com or call me at 844-SCREAM-NOW. That's 844-727-3366. In the meanwhile, please be safe, hire safe, and I'll see you in the next video.